Hey, welcome back. I want to thank Charlie Davis for joining us. And again, go on the WGSO podcast page. You have a link to the sign up for the RLC, get a special ringside discount if you want to go to an event that's going to have big name speakers and I think a real major gathering of Republicans coming right here to New Orleans, May 29th to 31st. Here Donald Trump, here Ted Cruz, Alan West, and others. All right, each week on the program, of course, on Tuesdays, we have a Ringside All-Star who checks in with us, publisher of BayouBuzz.com. We also do it via Google Hangout, and you can watch it live on BayouBuzz.com. Also listen to it right here on WGSO.com or 990 AM. Joining us, the publisher of BayouBuzz.com, Steve Sabludowsky. And Steve, what's going on? Good morning. Steve, are you there?
Hey, Jeff.
There you are.
I'm doing fine. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm getting some feedback only because I have two browsers open. So what's going on with you?
Well, we've been talking a lot about, of course, this upcoming Senate race and Mary Landrieu versus her Republican opponents, and also Reverend Brown, who's running. And we've been talking about Boise Bollinger's endorsement and the big splash he made in the Landrieu commercial, and what impact, if any, it'll have. And I've sort of now detected a pattern. It seems like every time toward election time, Mary Landrieu was able to find some key Republicans to bring on board her campaign and that help her each time garner that few percentage points that she needs to win. And I think she's trying to do it again this time.
Well, sure. I mean, that's a no-brainer, and there's no reason for her not to have done that. No reason for her not to do that. I mean, certainly she's helped out Republicans, Democrats. At this point in time, I think that the opposition is sort of like a one-horse opposition, focusing on Obamacare, and I think there's so much more.
Well, yeah, Boise Bollinger's touting her position on the Energy Committee, her support of oil and gas. He's showing his big ships, and I guess the implication is those big ships are due to the contracts he gets due to Mary Landrieu, right?
Well, sure. I mean, definitely. And the whole thing is that if you look at what Bill Cassidy said in response, he said it's an inside job. Well,
yeah. What does he mean by that exactly?
Oh, I'm not sure what he means, other than the fact that he is that Mary Landrieu is a U.S. senator, that Bollinger has given her some money, and he has gotten contracts, so it's inside deal. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that you got to look at what. Cassidy's gotten close to, I think, 50% of his money has come from large contributions. So, does that? Most of them, many of them, from the medical community. So, I mean, does that mean that he's not going to do what he wants to do and what they wanted him to do?
Well, I mean, I would just assume he's probably not too happy by Boise Bollinger, the biggest donor, one of the biggest donors in the Republican Party, supporting Mary Landrieu. Also, Joe Cannizzaro is on board with her, and that probably is something that is very irritating to him as he tries to get, Republican Party to coalesce behind him. He's also got two other Republicans running against him, and that's inhibiting his efforts as well. So. We'll see what happens. I got a long way to go between now and the election, but I think it's heating up, and we're going to see, I think, commercials almost on a daily basis probably in this race. I think, Steve, according to an analyst that I talked to the other day, the control of the U.S. Senate could very well come down to Louisiana. He believes, this gentleman that I talked to, that things are so close that Louisiana could play a pivotal role in control of the U.S. Senate. Do you agree with that analysis?
Oh, definitely at this point in time, for sure. I think people have been saying that for now for almost a year, and I think as we get closer, I think it's going to get tighter. This this is an election that I think that the entire nation is going to be looking at, the entire world. And I think that the money that's already been pumped into it is going to just skyrocket.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be the most expensive political race in Louisiana history. That's what I think we're looking at, and we've already seen a lot of money being pumped in. Do you think Landrieu has suffered any from the fallout about her campaign commercial that was staged, the fact that it was a recreation of her Senate testimony? That seemed to be something that she was criticized for last week. I got a lot of interest on that issue here on the program. I wrote a column about it. You can check it out on BayouBuzz.com. Certainly, I think that was something we hadn't seen before, where you had sort of a recreation of testimony, and even the Today Show was critical of Landrieu for that. Your thoughts?
No question that she should be, or at least the campaign, I think, should be criticized for that. And here's the reason. I think the reason why, and that is that her campaign had criticized a commercial by the AFP, Americans for what AFP, the Koch group. Yeah. And because that they had this actress, canning that she was a hurt person by Obamacare. So I think when you engage in these roles like that in TV commercials, you're going to be criticized. On the other hand.
Yeah, hang on. We'll get your other point when we come back. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to improve this connection a little bit. Steve Sabludowsky with us at BayouBuzz.com. Our weekly visit right here on the airwaves, also on BayouBuzz.com via Google Hangout. Come join us. Give us your thoughts. Chime in. 504-556-9696. Brought to you by our friends at Sir Speedy, 343 Carondelet in the CBD. We got to take care of some business. Jeff Crouere here. Thanks for joining us. Brief time out. More Ringside coming your way.
We're blessed to be in New Orleans and to be able to go out and enjoy many fine restaurants.
Hey, Steve.
Bringing the fine restaurant experience home to you.
Steve.
Yeah,
a lot of feedback, so we're just giving you a chance to reset.
It's like having one of New Orleans.
Okay, let me see what I can do.
All right.
Of chef-inspired gourmet menu options. And 12 Seasons
all right, let me give you
will
the
bring lunch to
guy.
your office for as few as 10 people. 12 Seasons. Call 465-9770 or online at 12seasonscatering.com.
Suburban Roofing and Siding, 504-861-ROOF, locally owned and operated, fully licensed and insured, has been re-roofing South Louisiana for over a decade. Suburban Roofing is one of only 6% of roofing contractors nationwide certified by shingle manufacturers, which allows our customers to qualify for the manufacturer's extended warranty program. My good friend Marty Sconkins is honest and reliable and stands behind all of Suburban Roofing's quality workmanship. Suburban Roofing skilled crews are experts in all types of roofs. Don't sign that contract till you call Suburban Roofing and Siding at 504-861-ROOF.
The famous Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw made a point of not identifying with any specific religious persuasion, but he did make an interesting observation about Jesus Christ. There were times, he said, when Christ did not behave like a good Christian. Do you get his point? Jesus did some things that were considered scandalous in his day, like violating the Sabbath, eating with immoral people, turning over tables in the temple. It's important for us to make sure that our churches and homes are places where Jesus Christ would feel comfortable to visit, that we don't have more rules and traditions than he does. And this is David Jeremiah, encouraging you to get on the road to new life. Discover who God really is on Route 66.
Route 66, driving the word home. Log on to Route66Life.com. Start your journey home today.
How's that hope and change working for you? That's what we were promised, and I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things I hope they change right away. If you don't agree, give Ringside Politics with a Punch a call right now. Call Jeff Crouere at 556-9696.
All right, welcome back. Jeff Crouere here. It's Ringside with you weekdays 7 to 11 on WGSO 990 AM, WGSO.com. Each day in the program, we have a Ringside All-Star who checks in with us on Tuesdays. It's the publisher of BayouBuzz.com, Steve Sabludowsky. You can also watch our interview on BayouBuzz.com via Google Hangout. Steve, hopefully we have a better connection. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. I think I'm having a computer problem, believe it or not, that's causing a bad connection.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit better. So wanted to get you to expand a little bit more on this whole controversy about sort of the fake ad that Mary Landrieu did and how that sort of opened her up to a criticism because she was making a similar criticism about the other side.
Yeah, thank you. And I do apologize for the bad connection. And quite frankly, I was here triple in my ear, so it was hard for me to focus last segment. So basically what I was saying is that, yeah, she should be criticized for that commercial, and that's largely because she had criticized the Americans for Prosperity commercial, which had a lady who was basically an actress say that she was hurt by Obamacare. So, you know, to do basically the same thing and recreate something that, you know, just isn't true, you know, I mean, that I think that's problematic, and you know, she deserves the criticism for that. I personally have problems with these recreations anyway. The new commercial by Americans for Prosperity, if I'm not mistaken, is the commercial with the Marine guy, and you know, just the fact that he's going to the you know, the mailbox and all, and it's a recreation, and I just have real issues with all of those type of commercials.
Types of ads. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We got other issues to get to, but let's squeeze in some calls. Steve Sabludowsky with us, Jeff Crouere here. It's Ringside WGSO. Come join us. Our talk line, 504-556-9696. Let's go to the phones. Our friend Brian in Metairie is with us. What's happening, Brian? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Crouere. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Hey.
That's the reason why I don't own a computer, because they don't work. I have a question. When y'all, with these Republicans that are starting to fall in line with Miss Mary Landrieu and the government contracts that a number of Louisiana shipyards get, did any of these shipyards receive contracts to build these Coast Guard cutters that aren't seaworthy?
I think there were some problems with some of the cutters that were built there at Bollinger Shipyards. Isn't that correct?
That's what I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how a man can back someone who gave him or was strong in getting him contracts to build ships that can't be put out into the open ocean. That's like the left foot stepping on the right foot.
Steve, what do you know of that issue?
Well, just what I read in the online papers, and that he received the contract. The ships were unseaworthy, and he won I think a case against the Department of Justice, and the department is trying to appeal. And so that's really all I know about that. But you know, look, the thing is, he's also employing 3,000 people, I think he said in his commercial. And look, is she helpful to his business? Yeah. Is she helpful to other people's business in the energy community? Absolutely. You know, it's. I mean, it is what it is, and I think you gotta make a decision as to whether or not, you know, she's going to be helpful enough versus harmful. And you know, I think there's good and bad on both sides.
All right, Mr. Brian, appreciate the call. 504-556-9696 to join us. I don't know. I mean, I think it opens the senator and also the shipbuilder, Mr. Bollinger, up to criticism for, you know, the whole connection there. Some are going to question his Republican credentials. Others are going to say he's only doing it because he's getting lots of contracts. And I guess Democrats are just excited to have a major Republican on board here with their campaign. Have you heard whether any elected officials are going to sign up for Steve and support her again? Because last time, Kevin Davis, Newell Norman, Mason Foster, others, Jack Strain, lent her some critical support.
Not yet. I haven't heard anything about that. But to answer your initial topic, I think, and that is that has she done something for these people? Yeah, I feel pretty confident that she has. I think the facts that I've read indicate that she has. The people who are contributing to these people's campaign, do they hope and expect something in return, especially if they're giving up a lot of money? Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of why they do it, and they could be doing it for other reasons, such as what they think is best for the state and best for the country. But it's I mean, are the cautious doing this, spending millions of dollars, as well as the Democrats on the other side, because they believe that that's the best thing to uphold the American system as they see it, or are they doing it because it's in their best business best interest? And it does work both sides of the aisle.
Here's my view. I know a lot of people who are in Louisiana express their view to her over and over and over again about Obamacare. We sent faxes, emails, telegrams, calls, protests, personal visits, and they were all ignored because she voted for the president's program. You know, Steve, the vast majority of the people here in Louisiana were opposed to that. She overlooked us. She voted with President Obama. And I just think that that's going to be an issue. I mean, I know it's not the only issue. That's certainly going to be one issue because poll numbers still show, I just saw an ABC News poll this morning, Steve, that shows the American people give President Obama failing grades for Obamacare. And I don't think that's going to change between now and November.
Well, I certainly think it may change a little bit. I think that, to me, the question is whether or not people are ready to just void Obamacare. And so far, I don't know how the Republicans, assuming that they're able to win both houses, how they would be able to do that, and even if they win the presidency and both houses, how they would be able to do that. Does that mean that you're going to act retroactively and provide, say, certain coverages that didn't exist before that now exist, like pre-existing conditions? I mean, how do you do that? The polls indicate, and even those in Louisiana indicate, that people want Obamacare to be improved upon. And I mean, whether or not we like it or not, whether you like it or not, I mean, that is what the polls, even in Louisiana, say.
Improved upon. Well, when something is so dysfunctional and something is so inadequate and something is so problematic, I think the best thing is not to quote improve upon it, but to dismantle it completely.
Okay, so how would you do it? I mean, seriously.
I would rescind it, repeal it. I mean, obviously you're right. The Republicans can't do it until they take over the White House.
Yeah, but
if they have a majority in Congress, they can repeal it.
Sure. I mean, you can vote, you can repeal it. But my question is, what are you going to do about, those things that have already gone into effect? I mean, what are you going to do about pre-existing conditions? What are you going to do about lifetime caps, things that people have already relied upon? I mean, are you going to say, okay, well, you had pre-existing conditions, but for now forward, you don't? I mean, is that what you're going to do? I mean, I think she's just saying, hey, we're just going to get rid of it. That is not, I mean, to me, that's demagoguery.
The American people never wanted it in the first place.
I understand that.
I think if the Republicans say, hey, we're going to go on a plan to repeal it, all they're doing is following the will of the American people, and that's what elected representatives should do.
Well, they
should listen to the American people.
Jeff, the American people aren't saying that. I mean, the American people are saying that they want the plan to be improved. They're not saying they want it repealed. I mean,
I would dispute that. I've seen poll numbers that are very negative about Obamacare. I saw one this morning, Steve. So people aren't saying, oh, this is a great program. Let's just tweak it here. Let's just tweak it there. They're saying it's a disaster.
I didn't say
So,
tweak it.
I mean,
I said make improvements, but
all right. Well, if we make massive changes to it, where we practically dismantle it by making the quote changes, then maybe I'd be for that. If the massive changes are practically getting rid of it, let's do this. I want to bring on some calls. Got a lot of people that want to chime in on this, so let's do so. Let's bring on our friend Pam from Covington wants to join in. What's going on, Pam?
Hi, Jeff. Hi. Good morning to you. I was listening to your show and heard the talk about the Planned Parenthood. Now you're talking about Obamacare. Well, that has a lot to do with abortion as well, because many of us are so deeply offended by the fact that our tax dollars will pay for abortifacients and for abortion, and which many of us are against. And but I wanted to comment about the Planned Parenthood.
Yes.
And they are Planned Parenthood, because your caller, I think it was Steve, he was just baffled by how people could really, we could go for this. But Planned Parenthood, they are the masters of deceit. They have an excellent marketing strategy to reach out to the women, the millennials that are having the abortion. And there was a study done by a pro-life organization about a year ago, and others have shown this, that when the millennials, that age group of women that are going into the Planned Parenthood and are having the abortions, were asked about their opinion about Planned Parenthood, they considered Planned Parenthood a very friendly, benign organization that would help them with all their fertility needs, including terminations, if that was what they wanted to do. And this is very sad, because it shows us that we have got to get to the younger people, and we have to get to them before they're walking into abortion clinics.
Well,
do a lot more education. A lot of people are trying to do that, and sadly enough, they're continuing the construction with the Planned Parenthood on Claiborne.
Yeah, where does that stand right now, Pam? Because I was going to ask you that. I don't know the status of it.
Well, the status is, in fact, I was there about a week ago. It was actually during Holy Week, because my daughter-in-law was having a baby at Baptist right there. I took a break from that and walked over there, and there's workers there, and as I stood there, there were big 18-wheelers that were unloading dirt, and they were pushing that dirt and laying and starting to, spread the dirt and put a foundation down. And I asked the people there, did they know what was going on? What are you building? And they said, oh, it's just a medical clinic.
A medical clinic.
Yes, that's what they. I told them, I said, it's not a medical clinic. This is what it is. And so I explained to them what Planned Parenthood was about, and about abortion.
Well,
and one of the guys was an African American. He was the security guard, and he said, "Well, ma'am, I have a family to feed." I said, "Well, you're complicit with this."
Well, a lot of them, so they didn't really know the details. They were just, quote, doing their job. But I'm glad you educated them a little bit about what's going on there. And I'd love to keep posting updates for our listeners, Pam, because I think a lot of people are curious as to what's happening there. I think Planned Parenthood is not honest about what they really do. One of our callers earlier said it's mostly all about abortion, and I think that is true. Pam, thank you for your call. Steve, we talked a little bit earlier about why Planned Parenthood gets federal funds when the Right to Life organization doesn't get federal funds. It just seems to me that it's being funded by taxpayer dollars against the will of many Americans, such as myself. I don't like my tax dollars going to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, I can understand that, and unfortunately, this is really a religious issue, I believe, and some people of different religions, feel otherwise, and that just, I mean, it's one of those issues over the last 30 years that I think have really become problematic and caused a tremendous amount of division. In
all right, let's do this. So we're going to extend this, if we can, Steve, a little bit into the 10 o'clock hour, because there are other things we got to get to. I want to get in all these calls, but thank you, Pam, for your call. Let's go to Rick in Metairie, who's with us. How you doing, Mr. Rick? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to your guest. I think that as far as Planned Parenthood is concerned, I think the same amount of tax dollars should go to the Right to Life as to Planned Parenthood. But I really called about the Landrys, the mayor and his sibling that is running for Senate. I think if Louisiana falls for this lady again, we deserve everything disastrous that happens to us thereafter. This woman only does whatever it takes to get reelected, and then after that, she votes 100% against the people of Louisiana and their feelings. If we ain't seen it yet, we're really stupid people. I mean, come on, man.
She's been there. She's been there 18 years, so we should have gotten the message by now, huh, Rick?
And yeah, I mean, come on. We got to get rid of her and her sibling that's running this city, because neither one of them are doing us any good.
He just got reelected, and he's going to be here another 4 years. Steve's going to hang with us another segment. If you're online, hang with us. We want to take your calls. Jeff Kruger here at Ringside WGSO. Quick time out. We've got a news break. We'll be back right after the latest from NBC News right here on Ringside. Come join us, 504-556-9696. Open line kicks off right after this. WGSO 990 AM, New Orleans, Louisiana. 60 years of speaking easy, New Orleans style.
NBC News Radio, I'm Dirk Van. No relief in the South. More violent storms after tornadoes slashed through 7 states yesterday and Sunday, leaving at least 28 people dead. NBC's Dylan Dreyer.
The threat of the most severe storms with those tornadoes pushes now into eastern Mississippi and most of Alabama, but still, everyone here will remain on alert.
Mississippi and Alabama said to be at greatest risk today. A workplace shooting this morning at a FedEx warehouse north of Atlanta. Police spokesman David Baldwin.
We can confirm that 6 patients from the shooting were brought here to Kennestone Hospital, with one that was listed in critical condition.
Police say the shooter is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. No word on a motive for the shooting. Stats this morning show consumer confidence falling short of estimates while home prices continue to rise. Wall Street back on the plus side. And JetBlue and Southwest still first in flyers' hearts. The airlines earning the highest scores in the annual American Customer Satisfaction Index. This is NBC News Radio. Donald Sterling may be facing harsh punishment from the NBA. The league holding a news conference today after investigating racist remarks attributed to the LA Clippers owner. The NBA says additional details will be announced at that time. Music legend Paul Simon and his wife Edie Brickell were in court yesterday as they faced the music following their arrests for a fight at their Connecticut home. NBC's Stephanie Gosk.
Both a Grammy Award winner and his wife were arrested on misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct. In the state of Connecticut, an arrest must be made if police suspect domestic violence.
Both say it was just an argument. There's nothing to be concerned about. On Wall Street, stocks are higher in early trading after a round of better-than-expected corporate earnings. And a British study finds e-cigarette use in the UK has tripled since 2010. But health analysts there say the good news, more smokers are switching to e-cigarettes as they try to kick the habit. I'm Dirk Van, NBC News Radio.
Hi, I'm Lynn, and I am totally blind. Like many who are totally blind, I have non-24, a circadian rhythm disorder that can put your sleep-wake cycle out of sync with the 24-hour day. But I found out there's a new treatment available for non-24. It's called Hetlioz Tazimiltian, the first FDA-approved treatment for non-24.
The most common side effects of Hetlioz include headache, elevated liver enzymes, nightmares or abnormal dreams, and upper respiratory or urinary tract infection. These may occur more often in patients 65 or older. It may cause drowsiness, so limit your activity to preparing for bed. Hetlioz has not been studied, and it is not recommended for use in pregnant women, children, or people with severe liver problems. To learn more and to hear the full prescribing information, visit Hetlioz.com or call 844-241-2424. That's 844-241-2424.
Hetlioz is now available for non-24. Talk to your doctor today.
Sponsored by Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
Wall Street is gaining ground despite a drop in consumer confidence this month, but the reading from the conference board still shows optimism running at the highest level in 6 years. Meanwhile, Wall Street gaining ground despite some concerns by the average investor. David Sowerby of Loomis Sales says,
still questions on how much is the economy improving. Then it comes back to what I think are the key fundamentals, the level of interest rates, which are low, which is positive, and just how favorable can corporate profits be over the balance of this year.
And the latest look at the housing sector, home prices are marching higher, up 13% in February on a year-over-year basis in major markets around the country. Federal Reserve policymakers kick off a two-day session today in Washington. At the conclusion tomorrow afternoon, the Fed is expected to continue to pull back from its easy money policies with interest rates to remain low. On Wall Street, the Dow up 81 points, the Nasdaq gaining 19, the S&P up 7. I'm Ann Cates at MarketWatch.com.
Marcia's identity thief wasn't a stranger. It was her best friend, her roommate. She put Marcia close to $100,000 in debt. Marcia ended up losing her home. A few years later, it almost happened again. But this time, she was armed with the proactive protection of LifeLock services. Shockingly, she again knew the thief trying to steal her identity. It was her son's friend, attempting to get a loan in Marcia's name. With LifeLock's help, Marcia was able to stop the fraudulent loan before it could damage her finances and good name. Marcia found out the hard way that identity theft has become so complex, you simply can't find it alone. Your personal and financial information is everywhere. Don't make the mistake of thinking identity theft will never happen to you. Visit LifeLock.com now and enter promo code AWARE or call and mention AWARE for 10% off your LifeLock Ultimate membership. Call 1-800-611-7050. 800-611-7050. 800-611-7050. No one can prevent all identity theft.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Ringside Politics for the Punch with Jeff Crouere. WGSO 990 and WGSO.com wants you to get in on the conversation. Call us at 556-9696. Now, sit back and get ready for Ringside Politics with a Punch. Here's your host from ABC 26, the Conifer, the Kenner Star, KTV, City Business, and WLAE. It's WGSO's own Jeff Crouere.
All right. Another segment with our special guest, and we'll squeeze in your phone calls at 504-556-9696, talking about this Senate race. Also, we'll get into the kissing congressman who has now announced that he is not running for another term. And in my opinion, he's done a service to the people of Louisiana, because we won't have to hear about this continuing scandal. We won't have to be participating in this controversy. He's going to move aside. We'll get some fresh leadership there, and hopefully someone who can keep their vows to their wives or their husbands, and also to the people. Joining us again, Steve Sabludowsky, publisher of ValueBuzz.com, and welcome back, Steve.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate the opportunity.
So, real quick on the kissing congressman, did he make the right decision in saying he's not going to run again? I don't think he could have won. I think it was political reality.
For me, I think he made the right decision. I mean, personally, I think when people stray in their elected officials like that, I think that they have dishonored the office. And whether, again, they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, to me, I think that one of the reasons why our society is crumbling the way it is because we're really giving a bad message, sending a bad message to our kids, and I think we've got to do a whole lot better.
I agree, and I'm glad he's going to work on his marriage and hopefully get his life back on track, and we'll be able to get hopefully someone in that position who will be able to focus on the job and get it done correctly. without scandal. All right, back to the phone line, Steve. A lot of people want to chime in. Let's go to the phones now. Joining us from Metairie, James checking in with us. What's going on, James? Good morning, sir.
Well, Jeff, good morning to you, and hello, Steve. Jeff, people are very offended, apparently, but their tax dollars are going to support Planned Parenthood. Well, Planned Parenthood does a full range of reproductive health for women. Yes, they do abortions in some locations, and I guess they're planning on doing it on Claiborne Avenue, but they've been doing this for years at low cost. That's why our tax dollars are going there. Let me tell you about how offended I am about tax dollars. I'm offended that our tax dollars are going to poison the minds of young people in Louisiana, some Louisiana Christian conservative voucher schools, where kids are lied to deliberately. They're told that the earth is 6,000 to 10,000 years old. They're told that dinosaurs and humans lived on the earth at the same time, and that there was a global flood. This country ranks, I think, well out of the top 10 as far as scientific literacy among industrialized nations. And what we're doing here in Louisiana is contributing to that scientific illiteracy. We're dumbing down kids in those schools, Jeff, with taxpayer dollars, and I'm pretty darn ticked off about it. Our governor, who has a degree in biology from an Ivy League university, this guy is just nothing but a panderer to the Christian conservatives in the state, and that's all he's doing. And Steve, I want to thank you for the courage that you had on Bayou Buzz. You have printed, or at least most of the column of Lamar White Jr., who is a Jeff, and that's a guy I'd like to see you have on as a guest. I think what is the Sinlaw Mar, I think, .com is his website. And he goes on to say how Jindal is unfit to be governor, with the support of supporting these.
Okay. I wouldn't mind having him on. Steve, maybe can get his contact information to me. James, appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for your call. Our talk line, 504-556-9696. Let's keep it rolling, Steve. Miss Val joins us in Mid-City. How you doing, Miss Val? Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Jeff. All I have to say, this is not why this fellow that just spoke. Whether the child thinks it's 6,000 years old or millions of years old, it's not going to have any effect on his life. Okay, what I really call that. Yes.
Ms. Val? Ms. Val, you still there? All right, let's try to, we're going to put Ms. Val on hold, see if we can get her back, Daryl. Let's go to our friend Cherokee White Devil. What's going on, Cherokee? Good morning.
Cowabunga.
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm headed out to Florida in the next couple of days to get an organ transplant.
Oh, okay. Best wishes to you, Cherokee.
Well, I'll be gone about 3.5 months, so when I come back, I'll be full of more
vim and vigor.
Vinegar, yeah.
All right.
So,
good.
As I look at it now, it is amazing. It's still amazing to me how the Republicans are going to blow the presidential race. I think they're going to do okay. I thought 6 months ago they had a real good chance at taking the Senate back. But the fumbling and bumbling and the indecision and the no leadership convinces me that some of these close races, some of these progressives are going to lie their way back into another term or a first term. I just don't understand. And then, that thing with Boehner still gets me hot. Did you see that piece of footage?
Where he's mocking conservatives about the immigration issue? I saw it, yeah.
Did you see that? Is that disgraceful? That is disgraceful.
I think John Boehner's got to go, Cherokee. I've never really been a fan of his at all.
Look, if you've got a incompetent ass as President Obama has proved to be, and you can't mount a successful charge at him politically, And he should have never gotten a second term. But
Well,
so incompetent, and the fact that
John Boehner should have never gotten a second term either.
No, absolutely.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's critical in the next 10 years. Well, it's critical now, but in the next 10 years, where we're going to have a two-party system or not. Some people say we only have a one-party system.
Well, that's been my point. I've wanted the Republicans to be more of an opposition party as opposed to a Me Too party, but just spend a little bit less. And we'll see in 2016. This could be the key. If they elect another moderate, I really think conservatives are going to bolt. I mean, if they nominate another moderate, I think conservatives will bolt for a third party. And
and you know this, it is so simple. Return to low taxes, less government.
Mm-hmm.
Pound that. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't get off the damn track on all these social issues. People want economic success. They want to see it in their paycheck. They want to hear that a new business is moving in. They want jobs. You know, they want a new car. They got to have a job to make.
And my view is we don't have that now, Cherokee. But
no,
yeah,
no. What we have is a go along, get along party that's not going to fight the Democrats, but just sort of say, well, we wouldn't have done everything they did.
Right. We'll do it.
It makes you sick. It just says, look, we have no war.
All right, Steve's chomping to get in here. Cherokee, thank you, my friend. Best wishes to you. Keep calling in before you have to go, and good luck with the transplant. And I know you'll be charging when you get back. Steve, your thoughts?
Basically, I think that a lot of us can understand his frustration and your frustration too. The thing is that the United States of America is, I mean, if you look at the demographics, it's a melting pot. I mean, that's what it is. And conservatives can say they're not happy with it. Liberals can say they're not happy with it. But you got to get the middle. And if you don't have the middle, you're not going to win. So I don't care, I mean, I don't think a real conservative is going to be able to be president in my lifetime, another, say, 80 years or so. I just don't see it.
All right, well, we've got a super liberal, so he got elected. He got enough votes in the middle to get elected. So why couldn't a guy on, let's say, on the other wing of the plane, okay? He's on the left wing. He's on the far left wing. Why couldn't a guy on the right wing, not even on that far right, but just on the right wing somewhere, get enough moderate votes to get elected? So you're saying nobody more conservative than Mitt Romney or John McCain can ever get nominated, ever get elected? You're saying so conservatives have no hope to ever get another nominee?
What I'm saying is this, that some people believe that Obama is way to the left. Some people believe that he's left moderate, and some people, who are conservative like you, believe that he's way out there, socialist, communist, and so on.
I've never used the word communist. I just think he's far. I think he's far left.
Many of your callers have. Or socialists, and many of callers have, and on some
socialist
issues,
is another issue,
and on some issues he may be. I think that you may have somebody to the same extent on the right side that Obama is on the left. You may have that, but I just don't see the say Tea Party type. I don't see them winning.
Let's see what happens as we get closer to 2016. Let's roll on. Our friend Jim checking in from Uptown. All right, Mr. Jim.
Yeah, I'm looking at something I haven't heard anybody talk about this morning, is the cell phone searches. And it's interesting, the Obama administration wants it to not require any kind of search warrant in the state of California. But in the process, you pull somebody over, you can do what I call secure them. You can make sure they have no weapons on them. And if you know, and I do not believe that all searches, just because you pull somebody over for a parking ticket that's unpaid or some attachment from municipal court or city traffic court, do you get full privilege of doing anything you want with somebody? I think that we still need to have and prove why we're searching somebody and what we're searching for, and we meet the criteria of a standard search warrant.
Yes.
Jeff, do you think it's fair that if I pull you over for a seatbelt ticket, I get full privilege to go through your car, your passengers?
No, I don't, Jim. I don't. No.
Your trunk.
Yeah.
Then pull out your cell phone and start to look at whatever you have in it?
No.
This is starting to get ridiculous.
It's something called privacy. It's an invasion of privacy.
But it also, this all stuff, a probable cause. You know, most of the drug stops are about putting people in prisons to keep the criminal prison industry up and running. You know, I mean, look at the changes in the marijuana laws in the last 5 years. Look at how, you know, several states now let it be grown. Colorado is going to let it be sold recreational. We know what kills most people on the highway. That's alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
We know the price of alcohol. But, you know, we constantly hide behind things like crime.
Yeah, and there's something called the Fourth Amendment that I think we need to cherish in this country. Thank you, Jim. Steve, hang on if you can. I'd love to extend this one more segment. And then we've got special guests joining us 10:30, 10:45 as well. Want to get your calls in, 504-556-9696. It's ringside right here, WGSO. Jeff Career with you. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Got a stained roof? Did you know that algae stains are stealing life from your roof? Do you want a beautiful roof again while saving you thousands of dollars by adding years of life to your existing roof? Call Suburban Roofing at 504-861-ROOF and get a roof shampoo. Roof shampoo is an affordable, eco-friendly, non-bleach, low-pressure roof cleaning system that will beautify and add years of life to your roof. Roof shampoo is the premier roof cleaning system in the industry. It is low cost and the safest, most effective method utilized in 23 states. For more information, go to roofshampoo.com, or for a free roof shampoo estimate, call Suburban Roofing at 861-ROOF.
Looking for a fun place to celebrate Cinco de Mayo that has great food? Well, Jigger's Bar and Grill is the place. Not only will we have specials on margaritas, as well as Corona and Dos Equis, we will also be serving those little mud bugs that everyone loves. Why go anywhere else when you can have it all at Jigger's Bar and Grill at 1645 Veterans Boulevard? Stop by and treat yourself to a well-deserved break. Remember, you can also get your fill on crawfish Thursday through Saturdays and Mondays. See you soon at Jiggers.
Since 1989, LCI Workers' Comp has offered competitive rates, great service, and excellent coverage to all types of Louisiana businesses, thousands in the greater New Orleans area alone. So no matter what type of business you're in, give LCI Workers' Comp a call at 985-612-1230 or visit lciwc.com today. LCI Workers' Comp is proudly headquartered in Mandeville, Louisiana.
Acme Oyster House has been around for over 100 years, and that doesn't happen unless you do things right. That tradition lives on with family recipes that date back from one generation to the next. Pleasing palates for the last century, Acme's award-winning 10-napkin roast beef po' boy, jambalaya, gumbo, and red beans and rice are mouth-watering favorites of locals and tourists alike. With convenient locations in the historic French Quarter, Metairie, Covington, Baton Rouge, and Baytown Village in Sandestin, Florida, Acme Oyster House. Born in the French Quarter, praised all over.
It's another edition of Ringside Politics with a Punch and Jeff Crouer. We're on the air right now. The topics are hot. The host is cool. And we're waiting for you to shed some sunlight on our vast listening audience. Call Jeff Crouer now at 556-9696.
All right, a few more quick minutes here with Steve Sabludowsky, publisher of BayouBuzz.com. And Steve, are you ready to take some more calls?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you.
You ready to go? Yeah. All right, good. Let's boost up Steve if we can just a little bit, Daryl. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And let's go to Kevin in Metairie. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Good morning.
Hey, Jeff, I called in earlier and spoke about something that you really didn't want to devote the show to, and I understand, and I got permission from the call screener just to speak just a few seconds in response to what James said, and appreciate Steve being on today and giving out the information that we need as well. It's very important too. But I believe that the issue that James brought up about the reliability of the Bible is infinitely and paramount to all other issues, because when we doubt the plain teaching of creation in the Bible, we actually are allowing the teachings of evolution to sow the seeds of doubt in the minds of our young people in school. Doubt in the historicity of the Bible, the infallibility of the Word of God, and in God Himself. And it's unnecessary, Jeff, because the evidence abounds. One in particular, the global flood. Okay, the evidence of the global flood abounds everywhere in the geological column, in the sciences, and yet the evolutionists are now just beginning to at least admit to local flooding. They can no longer deny that any flooding took place. They are now beginning to concede to local flooding, but they will never admit to a global flood because they know a global flood would have wiped out the Earth, and then evolution would have had to happen a second time. They know that's just impossible.
Let me guarantee you this: we're gonna focus a whole hour on this, and I hope that will be something that you mark on your calendar. Our other folks will mark on their calendar. Kevin, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it very much. Always enjoy your calls. Let's go to Mr. Red, White, and Blue. What's going on, Red, White, and Blue? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing great.
I need to agree with your recent caller, Kevin, but also I'm very concerned about James because he sounds like a very intelligent man, but to make the crude and bitter accusations against the Christian beliefs, it's uncalled for, because that is the belief that we hold. The belief he has of evolution has no proof in it whatsoever. They do not have any proof of that even existing. Okay. But the hypocrisy that he has, that he's willing to agree to the Planned Parenthood aborting children, which means that they're taking life, is okay with him. But the fact that they're teaching creationism to children, which is Christian belief, is wrong, while they are actually teaching in the schools evolution as fact, which they have no proof of it at all. So what I want to say to James particularly is that he needs to come now to a realization that he has never maybe been witness to of the salvation of Jesus, but he's being told now that that is the only way to heaven. And if he does not accept that, then he is not having access to heaven. That's his choice now. He's being told, and is being told on the radio. So that's up to him.
Okay.
But the way that he condemns against Christian belief, I think it's unpardonable.
All right. All right, my
that's
friend.
All I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Appreciate it very much. Sherry joins us in Metairie. How you doing, Miss Sherry? Good morning.
Hey, regarding James, he's a secularist in my book, and that's what secularists do. They attack Christians. They're full of hate. That's what they are. So enough said about him, I guess. I wanted to say I agree with what you said about tax dollars not going to Planned Parenthood and not to Right to Life. I couldn't agree with that more. But the real reason I called is about fracking.
Yes.
I have heard so many shows on fracking
Okay.
for a long time. The bottom line with that is what happens to the groundwater. Because once you lose an underground aquifer, it's pretty much lost forever. And I just think St. Tammany has got to really think that through. It's not worth any risk to lose that groundwater. So maybe sometime you could do a show on the danger to groundwater.
Yes,
from fracking.
we did have someone on from the API, American Petroleum Institute, last week talking about the safety of fracking. But I think we need to do one specifically on this North Shore, I guess, development and delve into it, because you're right. I mean, it is something that we need to look at from all angles. Steve, you have a thought on that controversy about the fracking on the North Shore? I know Tim Burns is going to do some hearings on that, and people have been concerned about it. Some folks are saying the North Shore folks that are concerned about fracking in their backyard don't seem to have a problem with fracking going on in other parts of the country. Your thoughts?
I don't give a frack about it, to tell you the truth. No, but seriously, I do have some comments about the other controversy, the James controversy, but no, seriously. So when it's time, I'd like to.
No, go ahead. We got about 2 minutes. Go ahead. You can respond.
Okay. First of all, I understand. I mean, the passion that we're hearing on the radio show from those people who are very religious and those people who are not religious. I personally, I do agree. I do believe that there is evolution. I believe in evolution. I also believe in God. I don't think. I mean, you can. The Pope accepts both. I think that there is a real issue, in my mind at least, having government fund any kind of religion or religious belief, because once you do that, obviously you're going to have to allow other religions to be funded. Now, that might be fine in Louisiana because many people are Christian and Catholic, but in other locations, you may have other religions. Now, those people there who are, say, Christians in those areas, they might feel really upset about.
All right. With that, Steve, we're going to have to roll. Thank you very much. We're up against the clock. Thanks to everyone who joined us. More guests joining us on Ringside right after this.
The Three Tailgaters Show with Ken, Ed, and Archie on WGSO 990 AM, New Orleans.
NBC News Radio, I'm Dirk Van. No relief in the South. More violent storms after tornadoes slashed through 7 states yesterday and Sunday, leaving at least 28 people dead. NBC's Dylan Dreyer.
The threat of the most